What's up, Dice Crew? Now we got Munchie B responding to OG Bamm in Compton Ricc Roc over some comments or statements that they had made. Now, if you guys have been keeping up with everything that's been going on all over Los Angeles, you know, it's been a couple of situations to where it was all based upon peace, unity, or ceasefires, or however we gonna word it. And it pretty much like this whole conversation been having a lot of disagreements spilling out all on the internet, right? And I watched this video, but Munchie B had pointed out, like, he spoke on like 3 or 4 things that I definitely resonated with, and I feel like it helped elaborate more on some of the videos that I was putting out pertaining to this situation of peace and all this and this and that. And just, he said a few things that was, you know, I definitely respected him about. And I just want to tune in with this, with the Dice Crew, and kind of point out certain things. So let's just tune in. I'm going to let it play for the most part, and then I'm going to just dive in and kind of point out certain things that was very important to me. And I definitely want to, like, you know, say what I respected about the conversation or the take that Munchie put out there. Let's tune in. Shout out to the Dice Crew. Let's rock.
Something else came across my desk, man, and it kind of rubbed me the wrong way, right? And it was a clip with OG Bamm. He from original Front Hood Compton Crib. Shout out to Front Hood. I know a lot of those dudes, they good peoples, man. Shout out D-Star, Lil D-Star, Money Dame, Dirt, all y'all, man. L.I. Shout out y'all, but y'all big homie off deck. OG Bamm. On Straight Politic, and everybody go check it out with me, Spotted Loc, Alex Alonzo. We was talking about the Peru Peace March. And I forget, but one of us, out of us 3 said Compton Crips next. I believe Spotter said, that's going to be a little difficult. Then I said, either you should start with the ATFs or it's going to be hard with the ATFs. And I'll stand on that, you know what I'm saying? ATF versus, you know, Nutty Block. You know what I'm saying? That's a war that claimed a lot of lives, and, you know, that'll be a difficult task. And I'll stand on that, right? So I guess, Bamm, your position was stay out of Compton Crip business, and you was upset because we said it'd be difficult. We didn't say impossible, difficult. You know what I mean?
Now, I'm going to just chime in on that small part right there, right? Now, Bamm is from Compton Crip. He's directly involved, you know, directly affected about the situation. And I feel like, you know, when certain things come up pertaining to what we represent or where we come from or anything that got to do with us, sometimes we might not really be so open-minded to certain statements that's made it. You know, I would like to say myself, you know, not going to say that I interpreted things wrong, but I definitely have a different type of ear when people are speaking about anything that got to do with me directly, especially when it's like sensitive topics and stuff like that. And I could kind of understand what Bamm is saying. Like, he might be really serious for the peace, so he might not even want to hear anything that's not even just totally for it. However, I would like to say that them having the opinion of saying that it's difficult is not saying that they are against it. And I will also say this. I think it's a fair statement. You know, like they said, I agree. I'm not going to say it's impossible. I have been in multiple, you know, situations, conversations, meetings, peace talks, whatever you call it. And I feel like difficulty is a fair statement because you have certain situations that, like, haven't really had nothing going on for a minute. And then you have certain other situations that's like, it's more current. And the situations that's like, keep having more of a current situation going on, it's going to be more difficult for those situations to come to a cease or an understanding or a peace, whichever word we're going to use the word, you know, I mean, use to, you know, explain it, right? So I feel like at the end of the day, that was a fair statement.
Now, you called me out my name or whatever. You didn't diss a hood or anything. You called me out my name. I guess you thought it was funny. I don't find it funny. You called my boy Alex Alonzo a police. Complete opposite. Do a whole lot of work. You know what I'm saying? Helping people get out of jail. You know what I mean? He the one that he be the most optimistic about these beefs. Not only Compton Crip. I said I don't think the mobs in the Lotus Parks will ever piece it up. He said never say never. He the one be optimistic around here, bro. You talked about Spotter Loc. You know what I mean? The East Coast is talking about the East Coast is rather piece it up with some Mexicans. Shout out OG Doc Thong, and free him. That Florence and East Coast beef, it claimed a lot of lives, bro. So whether it's squash between Mexicans and blacks, it was blacks losing their life in that war also, bro. So that's a good thing, you know what I mean?
Now I'm gonna say this. You know, Munchie B is definitely a Dice Crew member. Shout out to him for that, for sure. And I'm not gonna say that he watched, you know, any of my videos pertaining to this whole peace matter and all that. But, you know, y'all being a part of the Dice Crew, it's a possibility that y'all have watched one of my videos pertaining to this, right? And I keep saying one of these videos because I just can't remember exact which one I was elaborating on this. But I said the same thing because it was people in comments saying things like, oh, if those guys, meaning if anybody from Pyru on that picture was saying F another black gang, then they was wrong. And I was saying that anything that got to do with black people is going to affect the black community. So whether it's black on black or black on Mexican, that's still violence that's going to be going on with the black community. And like what Munchie B just said, it was losses in the black community. You know, Mexicans too, but the black community is going to be affected. So at the end of the day, it's like people don't understand that you can't just push an agenda or your type of thought process when you want to be on some type of like so-called black, pro, whatever you want to call it, however we're going to word it. And you're not thinking so clear to where you don't understand that any violence that got to do with the black community is going to affect the black community. I don't care if you talking about people need to just beef with the Mexicans and not the blacks. I don't care if people talking about, oh, we need to get something with the real enemies, and people be trying to talk about white people. Any violence that you are promoting that you want to sign black people up for is going to be affecting the black community in a negative way. It's going to be losses. It's going to be a lot of heartache. It's going to be a lot of suffering. I'm not saying that it's not going to be that way on the other end, but I'm just speaking in the form of people always trying to use like this pro-black, and, you know, y'all get the drift. Let's continue.
And you seem to forget East Coast squash they beef with the kitchen cribs. And that been going on since forever. Maybe the late 70s, early 80s. They squashed that also. So you was so busy trying to insult people, you missing the grand scheme of things. I don't know. I don't even see where you was going with that though. And I didn't tap into it. I heard you apologize and you had went live about it, but I mean, I don't know about Spider and Alex. I don't accept it though. You know what I mean? You didn't say too much bad about me, but you called my boy the police, and then you disrespected my boy Spider. And I really would want you to go look into the work that Alex do, though. He helping people get up out of there. You know what I'm saying? So, and I think you just like the other one. I don't want to say his name. You don't know that it's gang experts on both sides of the fence. The prosecution and the defense. You could call an expert. You could call an expert for almost anything. With cell phone towers, you got people from AT&T come in. How bullets this way, how it reflected, bounce, all that, bro. So, for you to be an OG, man, I don't know, man. You're supposed to be a little bit more sharper than that. You know what I mean? It just sounds like a little bit more like jealousy that the Pyros did their thing and pieced it up, and it ain't quite happened with the 2Cs just yet. You know what I mean? And I get it, Compton Cricc business, but I got family that live off Tamarind right now to this day, so they walking back and forth to the stores. They kids playing outside, so if somebody come through and shoot them, that ain't no Compton Cricc problem. They related to me, staying in that area. Just
Now, we back, you know, again, this is one thing that I was pointing out, saying that he's sharing my viewing point. You know, I had made a video talking about how we just need to be just like, you know, when I was defending Compton as a whole, when we had a dude that was making a video pertaining to instigating Compton Cricc versus Pyru beef. You know, they were saying certain things like, if I was from Santana or Southside, I would be letting people know like I'm the biggest, and I would be stopping that peace walk. You know, they talking about it looks like Pyrus are trying to launch an attack on the Compton Crips, and they just was instigating. You know what I'm saying? And I made a video and I took a stance, and you had certain dudes that's like very immature minded trying to say like, well, we ain't gonna say some, but you know, one person for sure was acting like calling me a sympathizer to the Pyrus and such and such and such and such. But one thing that I pointed out is just like what Munchie pointed out. Like when you really from somewhere and you got family and those that you care about scattered all through a city, then for you, you really want peace more than a lot of people. You know, I ain't saying that everybody ain't got some type of tie or whatever the case may be, but some people got more ties than others. And I was telling people that when you from this city and everybody tied in, you don't necessarily feel like you're not into people trying to instigate a situation for a city that they're not directly involved in, you know, like because when you tied in, like what Munchie B just said, it's a possibility that you're going to be affected either way it go. You know what I'm saying? Like he said, he's not really a Pyru. He's not a Compton Crip. He's not even from Compton. I'm not saying like that, but, you know, definitely, you know, he tied in with the Compton and all that type of stuff. But he understands that if, you know, peace will be beneficial to him because he got people in Compton that, hey, guess what? It's a less worry for him at the end of the day. And that's the same stance that I was taking. Like, hold on, man, let's hold our horses. Because if you ain't behind these scenes and you're not knowing what's going on, be mindful with your platform and your voice, because it'll just be you instigating, especially if you're not being around here anyway. See, most people didn't understand that all this unity with the Pyrus and getting better and more stronger have been going on behind the scenes for a while now. So it exposed how not in touch a lot of people is in the streets when they chose to try to voice their opinion based upon the Pyru Peace Walk and talk about, oh, they launching the attack and this, and this, and this, and that. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, hold on, we got to be mindful, because we just trying to get any level of violence removed. We don't care if it's 5%, 10%, 20, 30, 40, 50, 90, 80, 100, whatever. We just looking for any percentage of violence to be removed, you know, and that betters the peace. But some people didn't want to comprehend that. They want to push they first, you know, they want to act like first it went for being for peace and they were so happy for peace. Then it was just this one picture. And then all of a sudden people was instigating. Well, we ain't going to say people, but we had this one dude instigating this situation to be more than what it actually is. So if you really for peace, your stance just remain the same. You know what I'm saying? I don't know what you will represent, but keep turning your cheek or something like that. I guess that's what a person for peace would do. I don't know. You know what I'm saying? But in the same sentence, off of one picture, you went to instigating certain things. Oh, if I was from here, I'd be trying to put a stop to that. I would have showed them I'm the biggest. You know, y'all get ready. Y'all get ready for this. I know what's going to happen. All these things that can be putting seeds in certain people's minds that they don't even need to have. And if they do, it don't necessarily mean that you got to tell them that on the internet. Especially if you a street individual, you should be able to communicate with those dudes in the streets. If you worried about something that's going to happen in the streets to somebody that you care about genuinely, then you let them know, because it's a street issue. It's not an internet situation. But you got dudes that the only thing that they do is be tough on the internet and launch their attacks on the internet. So that's how they go about everything. When it's like, you can't do no benefit for nobody about no street issue when you talking about something on the internet. That don't have nothing to do with nothing. And then you exposing yourself even more. So at one moment, people act like they for the peace, and then the next moment, they kind of express their true hate. But that's why you got to watch people. But again, I understood what Munchie B was saying. He got people that live right there in Compton, and he is affected by Compton business. You might not know it because it's not gang-wise, and he's not necessarily representing gang out of Compton. But as long as he got family and people that he care about in Compton, that he is going to be caring genuinely. And, you know, that's why it's always beneficial to try to get to know people, or don't just jump out and assume, because you never know who. You never know who, you know, related to who, you know, background go here, and there. You just never know. But that's one thing that I felt like carried more value to one of my stances that I had put in one of these videos I made pertaining to this whole peace and, you know, people having a problem with just however everybody's viewing point was a big disagreement. But let's continue.
Get it right, OG Bamm. Ain't no beef. And you know what I'm saying? Yeah, I heard about the apology. I say F the apology. You know what I'm saying? Alex, Spider, they got their own mind. It seem like, you know what I'm saying? They cool with it, but.
And that's another thing. I respect the stance so much he be saying that he not accepting the apology, right? I'm not saying that I'm promoting beef. I'm not saying that they need to have a problem. But I respect his stance because people is getting too comfortable with this disrespect on the internet. It's a certain way you can go about certain things if you disagree with a person. Even if you get upset, even if you get passionate, it's a certain way you can go about it without you, you know, disrespecting a person and calling people out their name. It's just a certain way you're supposed to carry yourself. And anybody that come from the streets, the gangland, call themselves a real stand-up dude, a man itself, or a gangster, or just a man theyself, it ain't got nothing to do with no streets and all this and that, then you don't really do no disrespecting people like that. Like I say, if you're going to disrespect somebody, the most honorable thing you can do is disrespect them in their face and give them action. You know what I'm saying? That's just like robbery versus stealing. You know, people respect the robbers. People don't respect the thief. And you know why? Because if you take something from somebody, guess what? You gave them a chance to fight back. You know what I'm saying? If you sit around here and you stealing when people go to the restroom, you stealing the wallet when people sleep, that's not honorable. You know what I'm saying? And I'm not promoting that, saying that it's okay to take something from anybody, or I'm not telling people to take something from anyone, but I'm just pointing out the differences. Like, that's something that's more respected as opposed to something else that's not. You know what I'm saying? If you walk up on a person and you say, hey, I want to fight you for that, that's fair game. You know what I'm saying? If you want to take it in that form. Now you don't rob somebody. You gave them an opportunity, a choice. But when you sit up in here and you stealing from people, that's just way more not respected. It might be not respected at all. But if y'all know, then y'all know. But let's continue. Oh, my bad. I want to continue a little bit more. But I also feel like that is great for this internet because people have to know that you can't just be disrespecting people. It ain't no more just everybody thinking we could disrespect each other or do whatever the case may be and then turn around and want to do content. We want to turn around and apologize, get a viral moment. And I'm not saying that that's what got, like, I'm not saying that for OG Bamm. I'm just saying this overall in a general statement. That you got a lot of people out here acting like they don't stand for nothing, letting people disrespect them in every other way that they can, and then turn around and act like it's cool. Because, you know, the way you allow people to treat you is the way you teaching people to treat you. You know what I'm saying? So if Munchie would have sat on here and just took the apology, then maybe not just OG Bamm for the next time. Not saying that it's going to be a next time, but it could be a possibility of a next time, or other individuals doing that and thinking like, hey, we could just disrespect Munchie and guess what? He going to take it. Nah, I think Munchie is definitely taking a nice stance by showing younger boys how to carry yourself as a man in this situation. You know what I'm saying? Respect should always be on the table. Especially in this culture that we dealing with where everybody is from somewhere, gangland, this, that, and the third. You know, it need to be more respect because anything can turn into something serious. And then you even got people acting like they so pro-back, but people that turn around here and disrespect people so freely. I thought that was your black brother. You know what I'm saying? If that's what people be pushing. And again, I ain't necessarily saying this is for OG Bamm. I'm just making this a general statement.
You know what I'm saying? I think you should have been applauding the Paro piece. You know what I'm saying? And just try to follow the blueprint or however it go. And then there's other people. You got Compton Ricc Roc. You want to point out a picture that was taken with the middle finger next to the C, but it's a Paro piece march. It's Paro's getting their thing together. In 2005, 2006, I forget which year, the Harlems and the 40s, they on King Day, on King Boulevard, they came together, met up, and they squashed I don't know how many years, I don't want to put no ages on it, but it went on for a long time. I've been in jail with them dudes, and they was going at each other's throats, and I heard it from the outside, and I believe it went on for 10 years. It went on for a decade, then back and forth, and it was a real beef. So when they pieced it up, if they threw up F Blackstones or F Inglewood families, it wasn't about the Bloods that day. It was about the Harlems and the 40s piecing it up. Ain't got nothing to do with the Damos. You know what I mean? So they got what they was trying to do accomplished. You know what I'm saying?
Now, if y'all been keeping up, then y'all definitely know that I agree with Munchie on what he said. You know, I was more just, we giving flowers to the pod rules because they achieved what they set out to do. But I also really liked this part because Munchie B being as a Damu, and he totally said that if, you know, the two Crip sets was doing that and dissing Bloods, he would have understood it because it had nothing to do with no Damus. So, again, you know, when we had people like me speaking on these topics, we had people acting like, you know, well, not people, but we had a certain individual acting like I'm a sympathizer. See, we on here, me, myself, we on here to keep it a Benji, and we gonna call everything for what it is, you know? If we want to do politicking or play games and run the street course or all that, then we'll run that course in the streets. But far as me and my platform, when a person right, they right. If they wrong, they wrong, you know? However it go, whether I'm wrong or right, I'm going to deliver how at least I make, you know, I might feel about certain things or whatever the case may be. But it ain't going to be no one street. Like I always say, we going to give people out their flowers if we agree with them. And we going to give them their showers and rain on their parade if we disagree with them. But it ain't even about bashing or trying to humiliate people or nothing. It's like educating. You know, if we got something to say that's smart, then we going to say it. That's just that. You know, other than that, we might laugh at certain things or whatever the case may be. But people talking about you a sympathizer, like we need to pick some type of real street side on the internet. Like when people got that type of mentality and you acting like people need to stick on one side of the fence on some content creating type stuff, then you probably need to be in the streets. Because if you got hate for the other side that much to where you just can't give them their flowers for doing something right, then get back in the streets and start handling your wax. That's how I look at it. But for me, if somebody give out something that's very educational and I feel like people can learn from it or it resonate to me or, you know, however it go, I'm going to get with it. You know what I'm saying? I'm going to tune in with it and I'm going to give my flowers. But Munchie B as a Damu said that if the Crip sets this Damu, he wouldn't have felt no different way because he know that their achievement would have been the 30s and the 40s coming to a conclusion on a better end of things. So, you know, all that people talking about sympathizing this and this and this and that, I just feel like some people either open-minded and get it or they don't.
So I didn't understand that, you know, and I don't understand that, bro, but, you know, Compton G, you know, came to,
And that's another thing right there that I really wanted to give Munchie B his respect about, right? Because he said Compton G Uno. He didn't disrespect no Crips. He didn't disrespect no Bloods, no Pyrus, no body, no nothing, no CVs, no nothing. He called the city Compton for what it actually is. He's a Damo. He could have easily used the word Bompton, but instead he kept it all the way professional and delivered it in the most literal way, the most respectable way that could have been delivered. You know what I'm saying? Because for him to use gang verbiage and terminology can take away from him being professional. And it can also rub certain people the way. So I respect Munchie B on saying Compton when he easily could have used the word Bompton, when that's also what G Uno calls himself. You know what I'm saying? But I felt like it was so many key things in this that people had to, you know, I wanted to tune in, and I definitely had to pretty much share this.
what they was trying to do, accomplish, you know what I'm saying? So I didn't understand that, you know, and I don't understand that, bro, but, you know, Compton G, you know, came to the Grandies, took a picture with you, took a picture, and I think this was purposely done on your behalf. In the back is NBCC with a big ass B, blew out. For the viewers don't know what blew out mean, crossed out. Now, if I was you, know, I would have been like, hey, bro, let's step over here and take this picture. Because you being a Compton Crip and being a pyro, then you take a picture in front of something like that with the B blew out. Ain't nobody even taking a photo. Ain't nobody taking a photo serious no more. It's like, okay, y'all piecing it up, but look what's in the background. There's disrespect on the wall. Ain't nobody saying nothing about that. I don't know. It just seemed like people want to be the first people to react to something or have something to say. And that's boo-boo to me. You know what I'm saying?